Palaeogale is an extinct genus of carnivorous mammal known from the Late Eocene, Oligocene, and early Miocene of North America, Europe, and Eastern Asia. A small carnivore often associated with the mustelids. Palaeogale might have been similar to living genets, civets, and linsangs. Time range. The ancestry of Palaeogale remains enigmatic. The genus appears in Europe 32 ma. after the Grande Coupler, but 35 to 36 ma old. Chadronian NALMA. Specimens from Pipestone Springs, Montana, are the oldest known. Palaeogale survived until the late early Miocene of Europe and the early Miocene of East Asia. Mollo and Nagel 2007 noted that the Palaeogale specimens found in Mongolia are the most plesiomorphic. P1 double-rooted, M2 relatively large, very small overall size, and that the genus probably originated there and migrated to Europe and North America. Anatomy. Palaeogale was the size of a small mustelid but had a hypercarnivorous dentition, and its taxonomic position remains enigmatic. Its dental morphology includes both mustelid, reduced M2, and filiform, slit-like carnassial notch, loss of metaconid on M2, presence of peristyle on P4. Features. And Palaeogale is typically placed in carnivora and civets. The body mass of Palaeogale sectoria, one of the smallest species, has been estimated to much less than a kilo based on teeth sizes. It was probably semi-fossorial. P. sanguinarius is slightly larger than P. dorothei and probably equivalent in age. Taxonomic history. When von Meyer 1846 named the genus Palaeogale and two species, P. pulchella and P. fecunda, he only gave a very vague description of these taxa. Gervais 1848 described a related species, Mustela minuta, which Schlosser 1888 thought identical and named Palaeogale minuta, a name that has remained accepted for the type species. Simpson 1946 wrote that when Cope 1873 described the North American species Bunaeurus legophagus, he distinguished the genus from the European Palaeogale equals Palaeogale in part, based on differences in M2. Simpson, however, thought this molar was very closely similar in both genera and synonymized Cope's genus with Palaeogale. Matthew chapter 1902 described a skull which he referred to Cope's genus Bunaeurus. The skull was found without lower jaws, on which all Bunaeurus specimens were based. But Matthew argued that the correspondence in horizon and size made the identification reasonably safe. He nevertheless described it as a Palaeogale with a minute second molar still retained. Quote, De Bonis 1981 synonymized the then described Palaeogale species from Europe and North America into 4 taxa based on age occurrence, size difference, presence of M2, and loss of P1. 2 species from Mongolia, P. ulysses and P. parvula, described by Matthew and Granger 1924, were synonymized by Simpson 1946, who argued that the smaller individuals most likely were female and the larger male members of the same species, like in modern mustelids. Flynn and Galliano 1982 created the infraorder Ailuroida to accommodate Palaeogale, Ictidopapis, and Phelloidea, and argued that these taxa share some derived dental features not present in other filiforms, and retain some primitive dental features that have been modified in other filiforms. Flynn and Galliano, however, placed Ictidopapis as Incerticedes within this infraorder, and pointed out that the grouping of Palaeogale and the Viverrividae in the superfamily Viverrivoidea was a hypothetical arrangement. Baskin 1998 accepted Palaeogale as closely related to the family Viverrividae, but because it doesn't share any unambiguous synapomorphies with either filiform or echinoforma, should be considered incertae sedis within Carnivora, together with Palaeogale, another very small carnivoran. Notes. Sources.